Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, please email me. My email is tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Today, we're discussing a watch launched in 2010 for big wrists only. This is the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra XXL Small Second. Let's say you're a basketball player, a football player, the world's strongest man. You may be all of these things at once. You're going to have trouble finding watches even though you can afford anything. This is the solution. Launched in 2010, it's 49.2 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel, a relatively svelte 12.5 millimeters thick, and 56.1 millimeters from lug to lug with a 24 millimeter spacing between the lugs. There are those for whom no watch is large enough. Everything looks like a quarter on the wrist. Well, this will not. As you can see on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, this is just flat out too big. I think you need a wrist of 18 centimeters circumference to wear this in non-comical fashion. Now, surprisingly, it's very thin with a sloped bezel. It will fit underneath the cuff. So you're looking for an upscale dress watch for a large man, this could be that. But at the same time, it's 150 meters water resistant steel and well loomed, so it's a sports watch. Taking a quick look over the top, cuff shot, and one more time down the barrel in case you have any illusions about wearing this on a small wrist. Alligator leather, large rectangular scale with a nubuck suede texture, plenty of bolstering to give it thickness, a monotone stitch on the top with a folded edge, and a contrasting stitch in red on the bottom with calfskin. You can see this is a brand new Omega factory strap, a lovely steel pin buckle, and then the lyre style lugs we've come to know well on Omega watches in the Speedmaster and Seamaster collection since the early 60s. We have the outward bevel with polish, the inward bevel in satin, the longitudinal satinated caseband, and then an inward stepped bezel to visually pare down the mass so the side isn't as sheer. It has a very short vertical edge and then a conical profile, and an unusual application of a push-down rather than screw-down crown on a Omega Seamaster, but it is still 150 meters water resistant. We have the teak deck concept dial with the vertical striations, reminding you that the Seamaster Aqua Terra is the genteel Seamaster, equally at home on the planks of the yacht club ballroom floor or the planks of your yacht deck. Now you can see we have lovely faceted applique hour indices, and we also have double finished hands that are satinated and polished. Actually, the indices and the hands both feature satin and polish for good measure. There's an applique Omega logo on the dial. It has a dark anthracite color profile with a downwardly stepped track outboard for reading your minutes via the vintage style broad arrow minute hand, and then we have a sunken sub-register with crosshair style small seconds, a faceted hand to provide better contrast against the dial base, and then you can see that the watch is a chronometer and 150 meters water resistant. We'll do a quick loom shot. No problem seeing this one in the dark. It is well loomed. Turning it all over, we have a delightfully proportioned movement, and this is based on a Unitas ETA 6498-2, which means that at 36.6 millimeters in diameter, it is properly sized to fit this case. The movement, originally designed in the 50s for pocket watches and desk clocks, slides into this case like a hand into a glove. Now, because it's based on the /2 version of the 6498, it gets some upgrades like a 53-hour power reserve, a beat rate of 21,600 vibrations per hour, and because this is an Omega variant, it gets a higher grade of finish and a COSC chronometer certification plus 5 position adjustment. Now, it doesn't have hacking seconds, but it has just about everything else you could want. There are lovely sort of spiral dressage graining lines, creating a distressed pattern in the metal of the bridges across the surfaces rather than a traditional Geneva stripe. This looks more modern. It looks like you'd find in a sports watch. The bevels are nicely done, albeit machine applied, but that's fine in a watch at this price point. We have a combination of engine turning both on the balance cock below the regulator and on the base plate, as well as on the bridge structure that bears the escapement, which is a nice element of detail. We have black polishing on all screw heads, as well as the click and the regulator assembly itself. We have an oversized balance that's almost the radius of the movement, a signature of its pocket watch origins. We have a very traditional train, crown wheel, ratchet wheel, click, center wheel, third wheel, fourth wheel, escape wheel, and balance. And of course, this is the Omega caliber 2211, born from the 6498-2, but with a level of execution in terms of finishing and adjustment that you don't find even on the upgrade version of the 6498. This is very much a Unitas movement made Omega specific. There's a lovely solarization on the crown wheel and the ratchet wheel, and you can see that there are many different colors. We have gold, silver, violet, and that anthracite tone on the bridges and plates. It is all quite attractive. A 17 jewel movement, once more with a 53-hour power reserve. That's more than a standard 6498 would have. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.